Yes, we are ready to go, so start whenever you're ready.
Alright. Also, side note for Rick, I might be on Australia in August. I have no idea right now.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I'll definitely hit me up when you're down, and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's either August, November, or I've got no idea. Anyway, so as we filled up this initial bit of airtime while giving Charog a little bit of moment to come back, I'll just go ahead and start the intro and kind of go in reverse order tonight. So 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to Star Trek Reliant, where we are playing Star Trek Adventures with Star Trek Adventures, the TTRPG system, in the Star Trek Online universe, inspired by the works we made for the Star Trek Online Foundry. I'm Duncan Idaho. I am your GM and occasional character, person, player, thing. And tonight we have our usual cast of characters. We've got our Chief Engineer, Rick Tier.
Greetings, everyone. This time the engineer gets to make things right.
We've got our XO and CMO, Eli O'Connor.
I'm only dead on the inside tonight.
We've got our con officer, Kara Junrani.
Yeah, call on someone else.
Sorry about that, I'm back.
We've got our science officer, Grawl.
Hey guys, I'd like to propose a spin-off, The Adventures of Friend and Moo. Wibbly moo, wibbly moo, wibbly moo.
Moo! We've got our other science officer, DB Wells.
Hey, I'm a spaceman in space, man.
And we've got our security officer, Charog.
I'm here to blow some fish up.
So, let's first cut to, let's see. I thought I had a plan. I'm reconsidering plan.
There is no
Just
plan.
in the sense of ooh, can I tweak this? Can I tweak that? So no, I will just simply have the crew, after they've checked in with the Frontier base, have basically continued on the way to the next point of civilization on Trident. Still looking for Captain Graves and Kara Junrani after they are abducted by a mysterious alien presence. So, the Argo is basically trundling along with basically the main crew, and it's also got a little bit of a tow attachment for, shall we say, some mobile accommodations if they're needed, plus extra supplies. So basically you've got your Argo, you've got a pretty sweet trailer attached to it with some extra stuff involved as you see fit and need it. So don't have to plan out ahead of what's in the trailer, but basically you've got some extra storage space to put in what you think your character will need at some point. So just a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of resource for you guys, as you basically venture into the frontiers of Trident. So you're basically heading out from the coastal lowlands around Sariat Run, where you were last episode, and are moving into the highlands. So basically it's getting to a bit scrubbier vegetation, it's starting to get a little bit colder, and starting to get more alpine as well. So, who is at the wheel? Is it still DB?
God help us all.
Yes, it's DB now.
DB, you're at the wheel. You're trundling along a pretty well beaten path. Mostly, well, it started out as a road, but now it's kind of turned into more of a dirt road rather than a major paved thoroughfare. So, yeah, let's go ahead and have you do a con roll. Specifically, con control. Basically, see if you can keep it within the nice, your Argo and trailer within the nice ruts from other wheeled vehicles.
We have a 1 and a 10, 3 successes.
You are able to basically just steer the Argo effortlessly. You're just in the zone. You're basically able to concentrate on things as you will. And yeah, you're basically just able to chill as you're able to navigate, the little bit of a bumpy road and keep everyone nice, smooth, and comfortable. So good driving on DB's part, and let me see if I can do something here.
Yeah, after having a night to actually sleep, my head's sorted out the stuff that was going on. It kind of confusing me the other day. Plus, I've got a new friend to talk to.
It was just kind of hanging on. He's kind of arced around some of the scaffolding of the front area of this Argo, and you get very curious glances from other vehicles as they pass by. That there's a grave siren on your vehicle. Kind of like, are they okay?
Meanwhile, in the back, Urton is just kind of hanging his legs off the back, just kind of swinging them back and forth. He just says, "So, yeah, the gates make things real convenient, but, the place we're going is actually where I'm from. Just thought you might want to know."
I was going to jump in there, but I'm on that waiting game of like, as you do it as an educator, is that if no one's speaking up, you just let the silence go and go and go until it gets to someone, and then they speak up. But basically, at this point, Pim says, "Yeah, about 40. I mean, you think there's enough time to forget that little thing I got up to? I mean, I didn't know letting Bosho into the tavern after hours. It really would cause that much damage."
I don't know. Tavern Keep seems like one of those people who holds grudges.
All right. Unfortunately, hopefully I just have to, pay for a little bit of the damages. Everything will be all right after that, right?
I mean, probably. Money fixes all problems, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, Federation types, ever leveled a bar inadvertently?
Oh, I've blown up a space station, but that was more of an accident. That I don't know.
Oh, that's something.
I've built a bar.
Ooh, cool. Was this on your ship, or, on your homeworld, or...
Well, there's been, as part of numerous recovery things, that we've been rebuilding parts of communities, and the bars and pubs tend to be a communal meeting area, so it's sort of like a public get together for people to relax and just to get to know each other. So it was sort of important that we build one for them.
Oh, I'm glad some things are universal. I mean, when I get to my old years, the really old ones, not just the old ones. Sometimes I thought, take a vehicle like this, just make it into a bar and just, travel the first world and, just give, people out in the boonies a little bit of taste of what it's like to just rock up and have a cold glass of something.
Something tells me there's somewhere on this planet you're probably worshipped for your drinking prowess, Pim.
Let's see. Maybe 3. Definitely 2. I don't know about the last one. Things might have happened after I left.
Okay, that's more than I thought.
I've been around for, a few centuries. It just kind of builds up and builds up. But, hey, I'm still kicking.
Oh, hey. So, remember me after I'm gone, then.
Will do, buddy. He gives Zertin a thumbs up.
It's alright, I'll remember you too.
Does a space station that's a bar count?
I would
Yeah,
think
that
so.
that would count
I've
for
blown
sure.
up a bar.
Whoa. He taking on Federation Customs quite rapidly. He offers a high five to Jorog.
Trog gladly accepts the high five.
All
Yeah,
right,
it was run by a Ferengi I didn't like. I was there looking for him, and things got out of control, and I kind of decided to take it out on the station.
Well, that's one way of sending a lesson. Keep any bits of souvenirs for it, or just let it boom.
Well, I got a nice knife sheath I made out of the Ferengi's earlobe.
That's morbid.
Yeah, it is kind of morbid. I mean, I might recommend giving it a burial. I mean, it'd be symbolic. Just putting it away. Like, yeah, your ear's been through enough. It's time to let the hatchet lie.
Trog unbuttons his coat and says, "But I like this sheath."
I mean, we can get you another one. I mean, there's merchant stalls in Vorty. I mean, they do some really great leather work.
Using something made out of a person, yeah.
Yeah.
How did we not
we
catch this before?
We can do a ceremony for it.
To answer a question that has been asked in the text chat, you're actually not passing any farmland. The short trip up to Vorty has basically been up a mountain, so all you've really been passing are evergreen trees and increasing amounts of snow. It's getting cold. Really cold.
Wait, we went
Or
through
in
that
Graves.
already? Or?
No, you guys are just driving up. So,
Oh.
yeah, this is
I thought they already had.
They're just driving to. Oh, yeah. So they got okay. So yeah, I got confused. So yeah, they went from the gate. They gated to Vorty, correct? Or was it a drive to Vorty?
It's a gate there, but you had said that they were already on the path to it. So
I thought we were
okay.
on the path and going to the gate first, and then there because we hadn't gotten to the gate. Like I don't remember the gate.
Sorry. So I got confused, and I thought it was just driving to Vorty rather than gating to Vorty. So let's go ahead and just do a quick recorrection. You're driving to the gate before passing through the gate, because I do want you guys to experience the gate. Okay. So yeah, you basically drive up the countryside, and you're basically able to come to the gate, which is overlooking the coastal region of Sariat. Good catch, Grawl. Indeed.
You've saved us.
So yeah, basically, you just have you're basically in queue now with a whole line of other vehicles, just ranging from tracked crawlers to just large wheeled, not quite, kind of dune buggies, but definitely with camping equipment attached to it. Some trailers, one two-legged walker that a small alien is sitting on top of. And lots of small satchels and some trade goods are hanging off the side of the little walker. But yeah, you just have a assortment of vehicles, and you're basically able to just park on it, and no one really takes much notice of you.
Continuing the conversation from before, Urton just kind of leeches up and puts his paw over his 4 ears and just says, "You stay away from my ears now."
I don't have any problem with you. It's a certain Ferengi I'm after. He stole from me.
Well, I don't know what that Ferengi is, but I don't. Pim, the stuff we took from the ship, is that grave robbing?
I'd call it more archaeology.
Okay, that's not stealing then, so I'm okay.
Also, if the ship belonged to your people, it's not really stealing if you're a part of it, is it?
I guess. I might have come with a different group. I don't really know. Well,
Also,
I didn't come with any of the groups, but my ancestors.
Also, just want to note that we do have, Randolph P. Checkers, one of them. Just kind of sleeping in the trailer as well. So he is accompanying the group and just taking a little bit of a siesta at this point. And specifically the trailer of the Argo, not one of the other trailers in one of the vehicles, also on the road.
Is not to jump. He might.
I mean, he could, take a look at one of the other vehicles and kind of, start taking a nap in hospitality. People just kind of assume, oh, he's with us now. If you want, he would reunite.
He's in the Argo trailer.
Okay, so he's with the Argo trailer. So yeah, and you've got some bunks back there too, or a couple bunks back there too. So I do want to ask Eli, did you change out any of the crew members, or is Setsa still with the group?
Setsa is still with the group, and you know what? Okay. I'm bringing the Romulan too.
Okay, so Zacius is with the group now as additional security backup, and technical advisor is his currently officially assigned role. And yeah, he's just hanging out with the group while Setsa is taking a little bit of a ibby nap on the upper bunk while Checkers has the lower bunk.
I thought it'd be cool to let him see the big gate thing.
I was gonna say, which Romulan? Do we actually have a couple on the ship?
Oh yeah, the one I play, not the one Green Dragoon plays.
Makes sense.
Yep. So yeah, so you got Zacius, and he's just he's in a black nondescript jacket, black combat fatigues, and a teal blue shirt. So just looking pretty casual, just hanging out. Sitting kind of just in the midst of things, just kind of keeping an ear out.
So what do you?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Eli turns to Zacius. So what do you think about the big gate?
Well, and I've completely forgotten what accent I do for Zacia, so he's like, well...
Brooklyn accent now.
Oh, I can't do Brooklyn accent. Except if I try to do an imitation of Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, maybe. So, no, he just says, it's a fine construction. Bit weathered, but I suppose if it's coming up for landscape, it has a geological quality to it. Certainly doesn't look like anything we've seen before.
Right, okay.
It is big. That is the summation of my comment. It's nice.
Yeah.
Public transit is, the cornerstone of a successful, civilization. And they got interdimensional gates, or interspatial gates, just hanging around the planet for people to use for regular ground traffic. I mean, kind of speaks well to the people running this planet, maybe?
I don't know. They might be interdimensional. Sometimes the gate connects to a place where we don't know where it goes.
How horrifying.
I mean, so long as you stay on the schedule, it's completely safe.
So does the gate not allow, two-directional travel?
It can, but usually the gates just connect for a short period of time. So you generally have people coming from one side, through, the left side of the gate, and people from the other side going through, the right side. It's kind of like a two-lane road.
I think that's what he meant.
So it's the problem is that it's not open long enough for people to go and then realize where they are and come back.
Not really. It can be.
It's open for a few hours, so if something's up, quickly you can figure it out, but if something's really bad on the other side, that's kind of the limiting factor there. The horrors for what's on the other side is kind of the ticking clock, as it were. For normal scheduled gates, it's sometimes you can go to a city, do a little business, and pop right back through without having to wait for the next cycle.
Well, Rick here has his tricorder out while they're going through the. He's got that ready to go through the gate anyway.
Give me a science insight roll. And you do have one momentum built up from DB's astute driving.
I need to actually open my character sheet. I forgot to do that. Whoops.
I have got two computers up with me right now, so I am multitasking.
Now I've got the numbers, I can do the roll. 1 success.
What? You're able to detect a slow buildup of power, and it's so gradual, but it takes you a minute to realize there's a lot of power involved in this. It's just such a gentle progression, and it just seems so controlled. It just seems completely normal that you're reading, gigawatt levels of energy at this early stage.
Well, there would be a lot of power required, but this is very controlled, very linear progression of power build-up. We're already in the gigawatts. There's still some time to go.
Yeah, well, people wouldn't use it if it wasn't pretty safe. Well, normal people. Burton looks over at Pym.
Well, certain level of normal. I do have 2 legs, 2 arms, and, no, even that, is not necessarily a determinant of what's normal, he says loudly as you start hearing a bit of a slithering sound. Kind of just the sound of a bag being dragged across gravel. And sort of out from the passenger side window, the group can start to see an alien traveler just sort of scooting along by, holding a box from its neck. And it's got a strange single eye with kind of multiple facets to it, sort of this large frill on the back of its head. Its arms are actually just kind of two protrusions of its mouth, and the body is altogether either snake or slug-like. It's just hard to tell the difference between them. It's just got the soft, yellow, leathery skin, and it's just looking around, just holding this box of whatever kind of strapped to his neck, and, the universal translator eventually picks up. Oh, got some snacks and, cloud cash. It's your cloud cash here.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got a vendor basically going, across the various vehicles, just offering tasty treats.
Styx Blue Coin says he's more normal than you, Pim.
Yeah, chances are.
What is it he's selling?
Well, let's take a look. Hey, you, are you Creekik? And the merchant takes another look and says, No, I am Skokek. Big difference. I give best price. So, you got, hunger? Yes, hunger, that's what it is. So, Kara got the reference. So, you can get some Klakash. We also got creek, and stock, and water. Water is very good. Purified with best of tech and not world tech. It will not make you lost.
Yeah, I'll try the mystery meat on a stick.
Oh, the Klaukash. Let's see. Do you have for base chemistry amino acids?
Trog just kind of stares at him blankly.
Eli stares at Chorog.
Burton stares off into space.
Trog looks over at Eli. What's he talking about?
He's asking if you could dissolve meat in your stomach.
You'd be surprised what I could dissolve in my stomach.
This probably won't kill you, so I can sell you Klakash for, let's see, what currency do you have? Do you have Storp or Blue Coin?
I think we have Blue Coin.
Trog
Blue Coin, very good.
puts his hand in his satchel and pulls out a handful of blue coin. I have this.
Oh, that can get lots of Klakash. You just want one? Okay, so I give you some for your vehicle. Give you special price. And let's see. I will throw in some water as well. Water is good. So for this much blue coin, I give you, and he basically gives you like 18 sticks of Klaukaf.
All right, Cloud, it's on. Take one, everybody. It's on me.
I mean, there's 18 of these. I'm taking 2.
I'll pass.
Why are you passing?
It's probably fine. Come on. I'll have a bite. I mean, if it has parasites, they're probably going to be pretty agreeable parasites. This is a special treat in the lowlands area. Kind of like by Marston.
Shrugs his shoulder and takes a bite. Well, gamey, that ain't bad.
Yeah, it basically kind of just comes off as kind of a mix between either kebab or pulled pork, and just kind of comes apart very easily and has kind of a very tart but tangy sauce to it.
Urton just kind of looks over at Chorog and says, Yeah, but didn't you drink a cup full of ammonia once?
I've drinking a lot of things once.
Oh, he did, right. Probably multiple people have drank ammonia.
Eli has his Klaukosh. Not bad. Checkers wakes up enough just to eat his in one bite, then goes back to bed.
Trog pulls a flask of venom out of his coat. Technically, this stuff is EPS conduit cleaner.
Merchant has since gone to the other carts, having made a sale. So
Ricky's just happily numbing on his.
Quero also enjoys his Trito.
Everyone has a Mito Trito.
Eli's also going to... I'm sorry.
Trog finishing. This kind of reminds me of, like, barbecue linkta. It's not bad.
Go for it.
Eli says it's better than gach, he says, before scanning it and seeing if there are actually parasites, because Pim has a paranoid.
There are no parasites to the meat. It is very well prepared, and yeah, basically, if the group looks kind of past the line of vehicles, there is actually a nice little kind of outdoor kitchen area set up from some folding equipment. So yeah, it looks very good.
And I like Ga, so that's
Gah.
Yeah, I like
John is currently using 2 of the Klakov sticks and is just using them as drums. He's going do on something. And for DB's question, no, Moo does not eat.
How much longer do we have to wait? Should I get cards?
Let's see. Judging by the guy coming out with the robe, I give it 3, 2, 1. And you just hear this loud, kind of like gong/bell sound. And it plays again, and again. And you start hearing vehicles starting up, and just a little bit more sort of hubbub and commotion from the line. You haven't noticed any change in the gate yet, but yeah, people are basically getting up to go through.
Well, I guess that answers that.
It's strange just how frequently that kind of thing sort of happens. Someone makes a comment, and then things start to happen.
It might just be it might just be the DM basically following a cue and saying, hey, we're ready to move on with this little bit.
You know, my mom used to tell me that it was no good asking if we were there yet. But now that I'm older, sometimes it seems to work.
You gotta use it sparingly though, because if you're a kid, it's just not gonna work if you repeat it over and over again. But if you just so happen to say it at the right time, maybe it's the universe is working together and things just happen to align, or there's some kind of unknown, undiscovered cause and effect yet to be unfolded.
Okay, I get it. Correlation, causation, etc. So, anyway, like I said, I'm from Vorty, so it's gonna be pretty cold on the other side. You might want to consider that and get a jacket, or some snow pants, or a blanket, or, something.
I'm pretty sure we've got cold weather equipment packed in the Argo.
Yep, and you guys do have plenty of equipment packed away. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but yeah, in amongst the bunks, you do have crates of cold weather gear. And basically, at the sound of another gong, there's a little bit of a sort of a hum from the gate, and then sort of a ripple in the air, like that's contained just within the sort of the arc of the gate itself. And at that, there's just sort of like a change. It's hard to notice when it actually happens, but your brain eventually realizes, oh, something has changed in the scene, and you're now seeing a much more alpine, like a forested, snowy landscape through the gate, even though where you're at right now is certainly much more temperate.
I hear the smashed rock gate is more fun when they announce it. They have a guy bungee jump and just scream when it's ready.
So yeah, the vehicles just start trundling their way through, and DB here just able to, slowly inch along as, the gate traffic just proceeds through, and you start seeing vehicles coming through the other side. Certainly fewer than what's prepping to head out of boarding, or head out of Sariat Run. And yeah, they do have a little bit more of a rugged texture to them, just coming out from this landscape. But yeah, eventually you're able to pass through the gate, and as everyone passes through, you're effectively just, the gate's just looming high ahead. The Argo's just creeping up, driving, and you just pass underneath, and you have no sensation of crossing distance. It is just you're underneath the gate, and now you're just somewhere else. The sky is a little bit different, just with the texture of the clouds and the lighting, and yeah, the landscape is different, but behind you can still see the coastal area of Sariat.
Meanwhile, Urton looks over as Grawl just kind of puffs all his feathers out after they move through the gate, and he just says, cute, you're all puffy now.
I'm cold, and I'm round.
Okay. Like, Urton just reaches over and just kind of picks up Grawl with, no real effort and just kind of puts him in his lap and just wraps his arms around him. There.
Eep, but warm.
Yeah. Gizzle are kind of made for this sort of weather.
Meanwhile, just reaches out and grabs some blankets from one of the containers and just wraps herself up and basically becomes a cocoon of sleeping Ibby.
Rick is just sort of like staring up at the archway as he looks. He sort of tenses a little bit as they go through, expecting some sort of feeling, but with there being none, he just relaxes and goes, oh.
At that moment, a few miles away, at another gate at this little bit of a nexus that Vorty finds itself at, another line of vehicles, with one Shamsun military vehicle occupied by only one Shamsun officer and several other people, is basically looking to head out in a different direction. So, Graves is at the wheel, just lounging back, looking pretty calm, looking pretty comfortable, while Bosho, the officer they picked up from their raid, Ryuji and Kara are basically getting ready for the gate transit.
Kara's got a hand on her side looking pained.
Bosho is imitating the gesture, thinking it's just a pose for fortitude.
She just kind of, glances at Graves and says, maybe we should find a doctor on the other side. I'm doing pretty okay, but one of those guys did shoot me.
Right. Well, we'll get over as quickly as we can. Traffic looks to be moving. Yeah, and I can see through the gate, and it looks like we do have some civilization on the other side, which is great.
Cool. So how should we use the radio? Do you think they can even pick up radio transmission?
Maybe. I mean, we also have to find out, how to use it? I mean, we've got the officer there, but has he talked yet? I mean, he just kind of keeps looking at Bosho. And as a DM note, was it DB or Grohl who picked up the officer here from last game?
I think it was DB, but I could...
DB.
I thought it was DB. DB. Okay, what? So DB, you are... So last episode, we ambushed a group of Shamsun military folks who were coming to shake down Vorty. One ensign, part of that group, or private, was in the vehicle when it got hijacked, and basically you've just kind of gone along for the ride. Playing it safe, but yeah, you're just with what might seem to you a bandit group who, look fairly reasonable, but there is Bosho, the destroyer of city walls, just kind of sitting there.
At this point, they're just kind of... Wait, so they're not, hiding right now?
No, they were just basically sitting in the vehicle when everyone piled in, and he has nowhere to hide, because it's just a small armored truck / APC, so...
I was about to say, I had originally thought that last time it had been somebody who had been hiding in the back, and then Bosho found them, and that was about it.
Oh, yeah. So they were hiding in the back, and then Bosho just kind of got in with them, and just sat down next to them.
Okay. Right now, they're just internally trying to reason whether or not they should just, start over, start a new life, and this town isn't so bad. It's not too late to run away from the gigantic war, from the gigantic, legendary warrior sitting next to them.
Do you want to do a roll to see if this particular private can muster up the courage to just step out of the vehicle?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll. Your target is target roll is going to be 14. The complication of 1, but we can add that in manually.
20 and a 6, one success, 1 complication.
I'm going to say one of their values is self-preservation. The complication is they are really sticking to that value by not risking it.
Well, what happens is you got the 1 success, so you stand up, you go to the door, you step out, and then you just get back in the vehicle.
Kara blinks. Did you hear a door just now?
Bosho hear many things.
Thank you, Bosho. That's very helpful, but I was actually talking to Graves.
Graves looks over. What? We're moving now.
Right.
And yeah, they're basically passing under the gate. And yeah, they are now somewhere else. Cut over back to the main group, who has just arrived in the area of Vorti. And yeah, they're now proceeding up to the village as traffic diverges along a couple of other paths to other gates that are currently active. So yeah, you're basically able to now drive through this forested, snowy landscape towards, something you see at the far distance. It's not really visible yet, but yeah, just some sort of settlement.
I wonder if Mom's got a yarrow pie waiting. That'd be nice.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, really knock these guys' socks off.
Yeah. If nothing else, they could go to the inn. There's always good stuff there.
Anything. Sleep. Foods. A lot of food. Really good prices, too. Like, yeah, 40 is excellent. And, like, it's, Bentley, people judge a lot of places on Trident based on how much tech you got around you. But 40, that's kind of where you just kind of want to hang for a while. Like, good place to settle in for the summer or the winter, or just any time you really need to go somewhere for a spell.
Yeah, you can tell Pim's been on the run a lot. Anyway, you'll want to spend most of your time indoors unless you like being an icicle. Meanwhile, the temperature outside the Argo is rapidly dropping. It's currently at negative 25 degrees Celsius.
One thing DB can do is turn on the heater on the Argo.
Probably a good idea.
I tried to. I try to find the climate controls on this thing.
Give me an insight con roll.
Woo! It's a 50-50 coin flip. Hooray!
You find the heater controls after some fumbling and turn it up. Not all the way to comfortable, but yeah, just basically enough so it's like, maybe 50, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, in the vehicle. Not the toasty, but yeah, better than nothing. The heater itself is actually operating on kind of a field constrained within sort of the structure of the Argo. So you can still have the windows open, but it's warm inside, based on effectively a low power force field and some heating elements.
Burton just kind of looks down. So I guess I should let you go then.
No, I like pets.
Okay.
The group just continues on, and eventually they wind up driving into the village of Vorti, passing through some, welcoming city archways just made out of wood, very nicely carved. Quite impressive with just some of the scale of the wooden carvings. It's like, some strength would have been needed to hoist that stuff up, or clever engineering with pulleys. But yeah, it's basically the homely little hamlet with various buildings, some longhouses, just a lot of huts and yurts scattered about, and just a lot of Yizzle going about their day, accompanied by, the occasional human-looking figure and other alien traveler.
So I guess we didn't see it coming from this direction, but there's also watchtowers all along the village with people in them. Just in case there's like a feral attack or like some large predator wanders in.
Or, or debt collectors, con missionaries.
Is feral attacks a common occurrence around here?
Not anymore. There used to be a lot of trouble with lurkers, though, in the colder areas. Speaker Arun deployed some guardians here about a decade back, and I think she got them all. Nobody's really had any trouble with them for a long time.
What's a lurker?
A lurker? Oh man, you really don't want to run into one of those. The short story is that they'll hide under snowdrifts and just lay there motionless for like weeks at a time. They're ambush predators. Hence the name.
Group of little Yizzles kind of come trotting by the Argo as it passes by, just kind of giving the hull a little bit of a slap here and there, just kind of testing out the vehicle. They're giggling and impressed about, hey, this very new looking vehicle they haven't seen before coming into town. So you've caused a little bit of a commotion just for the fact that, hey, we've got potentially new species of traveler coming in. Hey, and look at some of the technology, like, that big turret with that big man in a large fur targ coat manning it. So yeah, you're basically ushered by one of the Yizel guardsmen towards a parking area where you're able to basically set up the Argo in somewhere that looks reasonably secure.
Curtin at this point raises an arm and just kind of points toward the biggest sort of stone block, building in the center of town. It has several chimneys coming out through the top in the middle. He just kind of says, so that's the main building for the village. That's both the governmental center on the one side and the inn on the other. It's also got passages to some underground hot springs if you need to, get clean or just be lazy.
Nasia smiles and says, most excellent. I very much do enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the cold, it's a nice place. That's why Yizzle don't mind living here. He kind of hops off the back of the Argo. So, I guess head to the inn and ask around, or what?
Trog hops off the back of the Argo with his big targ fur coat. Yeah, it says we go find that inn and get us something warm to eat. It's kind of a cold journey.
Tell you what, if you want to be warmed up, you can always get ambrosia here.
There's there's activity within Setsa's little blanket cocoon as she readies herself for getting up, getting out, confronting reality.
Burton looks over at her. Do I need to carry you too?
No, I'm fine. Just give me a minute. Just putting myself together here. Nothing to worry about.
Pam, do people usually say there's nothing to worry about randomly?
No, I don't think so. But on the one hand, I mean, we can investigate, but it might be impolite.
Setsa, what's wrong?
I'm just changing in here, okay? I didn't want to make a big deal about it.
I mean, okay, yeah, fair. They were being weird about it.
Alright, sorry. Just a weird day.
Yeah, well, that's kind of just how Trident is. The definition of normal around here is a bit vague.
So, yeah, at this point the group is able to dismount and head along either to the Traveler Inn or maybe some of the merchant areas, or just a general stroll about town and the surrounding area.
Well, if nobody stops him, Urton is headed off towards the inn, still carrying Grawl.
Yep, he's a poofy boy.
Eli's gonna wait for Setsa and head to the inn with her and Zacius and whoever else is going.
Rick will join Erton and Gural.
In that case... Oh, go ahead, Jorah.
Trog grabs his rifle off the back of the Argo and is taking up a little bit of perimeter security duty, kind of keeping an eye on things, looking around. So you notice there's a lot of eyes staring at them.
Yeah, several of them were actually from the guards, who look very nervous considering that Chorok has an energy rifle, and they're carrying crossbows.
I thought it was a Gauss rifle.
Oh, sorry. He's carrying a Gauss rifle and they have crossbows. Point still stands.
Something big and techy.
And way more dangerous than anything they have. But apart from the nervous glances of the guards, that's mostly what Chorok is getting. In fact, more than a few people kind of look at the technology on display and get a little bit nervous and just kind of find business elsewhere. Meanwhile, Urton goes ahead and pushes the heavy wooden door open for the inn and just kind of walks in. In the middle of the entire area is a massive bonfire surrounded by benches. He just kind of goes over and he just gently sets Grawl down on a bench and says, "There you go. You'll be fine in a few minutes."
Grawl stays a borb.
Maybe I should get you something to drink.
Rick is sort of almost, not quite sunning himself, but getting close to the heater.
Yeah, okay, you guys are way too cold. I'll be back in a minute. And he just kind of turns and, in his own slow sort of way, shuffles off towards the bar.
Setsa has emerged from her cocoon, metamorphosed into herself wearing a survival jacket, white tights, and some poofy boots. So she's able to, go with the rest of the group and not hold Eli and Zacius up, as everyone's able to basically go to the inn.
By the time the other group has arrived, Urton has come back with a trio of mugs, and he hands one each to Rick and to Quarl. Trust me, this will help you feel better.
Thanks, Ed. Cheers.
Quarl takes the cup and it disappears into the orb of feathers.
Urton just kind of looks at it, just kind of leans down. You are in there, right?
I think so.
Anyway, the cup is full of a dark, very dark brownish liquid that is, very warm to the touch. It's not quite scalding hot the way that coffee is normally served, but it's definitely quite warm. Assuming that Rick has already started to drink, you'll note that this is wonderful. It is sweet with just a little bit of spiciness and bitterness to it. It tastes vaguely like what you imagine Terran chocolate to taste like. And you just, as soon as you swallow it, you feel warm. You don't just feel warm, you feel like the concept of cold is foreign to you. You feel like so long as you have this, you will never be cold again. You are warm and comfortable and happy.
Rick just lets out a long, contented sigh and just sort of finds somewhere to sit down.
Yeah, when people do come to Vorty, it's usually for that. So that's ambrosia. You can generally find that wherever Yizzle gather, but we make a lot of it here because, well, he gestures to the door.
It's definitely quite understandable. I suppose we should look towards, see if we can ask about our friends.
Well, it looks like the captain guy and the others are coming in, so, yeah.
That is, helping to usher Eli and company along while Zasius is looking about. And, just kind of thumbs in his belt, looking around, and just whistles and says, very nice, very nice. Very much that ideal vacation home Ed was talking about, so...
Well, some cold weather species like it here, and there's lots of good mining in the mountains. But other than that, it's a bit hard to grow food. I mean, a few things grow here, yarrow. Sometimes you can also catch those little white rabbit things.
Etzel looks at the fire, looks over to the mugs, looks over to the bar, and just sort of trots her way over to the bar. Kind of like pulls back the hood on her survival coat and says,
Whatever they're having, I'd like some too.
Ah, yes, no problem. Here you go. And the bartender turns around and basically out of a wooden keg just kind of fills up a mug with, some sort of steamy, warm drink and just passes it to Setsa and says, here you go. Yizzle ambrosia. This'll do you.
Eli walks up and stops her for a moment. Is this intoxicating?
Lightly.
Alright, fine. Some of us need to keep a clear head.
The bartender just shrugs. Meanwhile, Urton is just kind of waxing poetic about these small creatures with, fuzzy ears. And after a while, it becomes obvious to Grawl and probably various others that he's actually describing a Terran Arctic hare, which apparently lives in the region.
Bun. Floofy bun. That takes a long pull of the ambrosia and says,
This is what I've needed. Calming, soothing. Be nice if Carr and Graves are here to enjoy it. Shame if, we leave Trident and they, never get a chance to try something like this.
The barkeep turns around and says, what were those names again?
Kara and Marcus?
She is now looking intensely at the barkeep.
Eli is also looking intensely. He does not have a tail to wag, but he is on edge.
The barkeep kind of holds his hand up. A human guy about this tall, dark hair. Kind of goofy.
Did he wear a badge like mine? He says, pointing to the badge on his coat. It's the DS9 one.
No, I'm pretty sure I would have remembered if they were wearing a badge or something. They were just kind of wearing, I don't know, seems sort of fancy clothes for Trident, but nothing like what you got on.
That's throws off her jacket, and she's in a a short sleeve version of the Explorer, or the Odyssey uniform, and she's
Like this? Like, were they wearing something like this?
the answer to Marcus would be, actually, Marcus would have been in his uniform still.
Oh, actually, the alien rethinks about it. Actually, I guess he was kind of wearing something uniform-like, but he didn't have the badge. I definitely remember that.
That's his, like, furiously typing at a data pad, trying to pull up a picture of Marcus.
Not this badge exactly, but like the same shape, this delta here.
Rick,
Maybe
In
they've taken
uniform,
his
he would have had a
combat.
delta. Wait, what?
They may have taken his comm badge.
Ah, fuck, true.
Rick comes from behind and presents the drawing that he's already done. These are them, are they?
Oh, yeah, they were here. They stayed a night just the other night. They left earlier this morning.
Were they traveling with anyone? Sorry.
Oh, like, I'll just say, Setsa has, like, her eyes just go wide, and she is just, like on it. Like, it looks like she might explode, but in a good way. Like, she's just wrapped intensively at this moment. So, go for it, Eli.
Yeah, Eli asked the question that I just asked, but my brain is not doing short-term memory right now, so yeah.
I was about to say, I didn't catch it, so...
It was, were they traveling with anyone?
Oh, yeah, they made, they hired this mercenary guy who was traveling through town named Ryuji. And at this point, the barkeep just looks intensely annoyed. Also, they had Bosho with them.
Oh, Pim mentioned... Pim, over here a second.
Pim settles on by. What can I do for you?
He mentioned Bosho. They're traveling with Bosho. You mentioned Bosho. You mentioned about paying for them.
Oh, that'd be a good thing. Bosho, he's an honorable chap, well-intentioned, a little bit slow at times, but yeah.
You mentioned paying for Bosho's misdeeds.
Okay, yeah. So Bosho, he's like that. You're like your little guy. You know, he's a tardigrade, so big guy, little guy. So he's a big tardigrade, like real big. Like he's taller than you, standing or on his regular posture.
He finally settled his bet, but I still would wish he doesn't come back.
Okay, so they left, right?
Yeah. Said something about, what were they doing this morning? I don't know, they said something about trying to find some tech.
Oh, crap.
Crap? Why crap?
Okay, so the gate's activated, and if they're going to find tech, there's one real good place to do it, and that's called Haven. The gate to Haven was probably open at the same time Gate was opening us from Sariat, so they may have left from that.
How long does it stay open for?
I think it probably closed within the last 5 minutes. Don't worry though, it'll open up again in about a week.
We don't have a week, and they could move on by then too.
Well,
okay. I think. So Pim lets the barkeep go.
Yeah. Okay, so truth is, Haven actually isn't that far away, but you'll want to wait for the gate.
Why?
Well, between here and Haven, it's only maybe 30, 40 miles, but you see, at the border between the two, I guess you say climate zones, plates, whatever, world tech has gotten a little out of hand within the last few years, and it's extremely dangerous to try to go through there. The whole area is just crawling with Lost.
Have you mentioned Lost before, or is this a new thing?
I think only in passing. They haven't gotten a good explanation of what Lost are.
Could you explain what a Lost is? Are they like ferals, or worse? Or better?
That depends, usually. Let me put it this way. Nobody is comfortable around the Lost. They might be harmless. Emphasis on might. Nobody really knows what they're thinking. Like, there are whole towns of Lost who will settle in a desert and start building a bridge to nowhere. Or begin digging at the bottom of a lake. Or doing God knows what. Hell, I heard about a group of Lost that had just kind of settled into a road somewhere and stood staring at it for months on end. People got comfortable, eventually started just driving by them. Worked for a while. Till a green transport drove by. Apparently that had been what they were waiting for.
Pim also adds, yeah, lost are kind of what happens with some folk if they get too into world tech. Or, I don't know, usually the world tech's kind of involved, or something is. They're not quite what they were before, or even, if there were even anything before.
The point is that while pharaohs will always try to kill you, you don't know what the lost will do. And in some ways that makes them worse.
Sometimes they just explode.
Explode.
There's a few stories about it, but, it's stories.
There's a reason we keep bringing up world tech, sir. I don't know how to explain this to you, but the reason they're called the Lost is that they're not what they were anymore. They are world tech.
I see. If it's only 40 miles, we could do that in... We could do that in less than an hour. We just floor it the whole way.
I mean...
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, especially with your fancy dispatchy tech. I mean, I've seen people deal with, Lost and with worse and, on foot and all that, so I think we could do it.
The barkeep just kind of looks stunned for a second and then just says, go with God, and turns back to his business.
You haven't seen the vehicle outside or the railgun Gauss rifle on it.
He turns back around and just looks side-eyed at Eli and simply says, you haven't seen the Lost.
How rough is
as
this
the bartender
path?
turns...
Sorry, how rough is the path?
Well, there used to be a road, but it's been about 5 years or so since the Lost moved in. So it's probably been torn up, and Lord only knows what the Lost have done to it. Frankly, you might find a perfectly pristine road that goes right into a brick wall.
The old Wile E. Coyote.
The Lost, I like a challenge.
Pim says, I can look. There's some people I can ask around who might have been doing some observations around that area. Minor scouts, that kind of thing. Once we get that information, once we spend a night here, I think tomorrow we could just basically floor it. I mean, the gates won't be active for a long while, so, your captain friend, they'll be definitely in Haven by the time we can get there.
Actually, the bartender reaches under the bar, pulls out a book, thumps it on the bar, flips it open, flips a couple pages, and turns it around to face the group, and he says, yeah, I keep track of these sorts of things. This is the gate schedule for Haven. They're not going to be open for another 2 days. So if they're in Haven, they're either going to have to leave the same way you're going to have to get there, or they're, well, yeah.
They said a week, not 2 days.
Yeah, it is going to be quite a bit longer for the gates to recycle.
There will be a gate to somewhere else, but not back to here.
Yeah, so basically, DM note, you guys will have time between the gate activation. So you've basically got the captain and Kara cornered in a city, but it's still relatively cornered for Trident for now. Well, someone has ships or something. And hey, who's got ships?
We have ships.
Other people have ships too.
Using a shuttle just be cheating, so not going to do that. Road trip time.
No. Yeah, you're still road tripping. I'm just for later. We've got pirates and stuff. So anyway, you got that basic information. So before it gets a little too late, I'll go ahead and we can call a 5-minute break for people to do bio or whatever, get drinkies, and then we will come back at Haven. Another kind of like an arid plain with a bunch of farms sort of stretching out in long strips from the margins of the city. The crew has basically gone through the checkpoints and they're now trundling within the the major part of the city where there's a huge amount of traffic, huge amount of pedestrians, some public transit going across rails above the main the vehicle thoroughfares. And they've basically been given directions for a doctor, because that's the first thing Graves will have asked for. So they're basically driving their, confiscated vehicle, which thankfully has a good power source or a copious amount of fuel.
and they're basically driving along through, some rundown, some rustic buildings, but for as much as there's a lot of active technology and active, basically commerce and life, the buildings themselves are ancient. They have been, built up, but designed to last for eons. So a lot of things, a lot of tech has basically been bolted onto the buildings, giving them sort of a very technical appearance, like over a stone structure. So it's quite impressive, especially given the size of the spires. 50-story buildings, some 100-story at the maximum, and sort of the peaks of the city. But yeah, the area they're at right now is a little bit on the more rundown side. So Graves eventually looks around and says, "All right, this is the location. I'll park over here, and hopefully I can get it."
4 and a 1,
With
3 successes.
Despite all odds, Graves parallel parks their armored vehicle without hitting anything else. And he's like, "I did that?
It's a good thing, too. I don't think we're insured.
Likely is not. All right. Bosho, Ryuji, and who are you?" He points at the officer that they've adopted.
What? Kara looks back as well.
Oh, don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just. He glances over at Basha, or that is Basha, right? Bosho. I'm sorry. Glances over at Bosho and just looks back at them. And I'm just. I'll just wait in the car.
Bosho gives a thumbs up. "I wait with them too."
Okay, you guys have fun.
I'm coming with. I can't stand to be in these things.
Not a fan of technology, huh?
My people live in wooden huts, use candles, torches, flames, lanterns. No, we're very traditional.
You're like my polar opposite.
Graves nods and says, "Yeah, if we end up staying in this thing, we'll try to pick up some furnishings to make this a little bit more livable." So, yeah, I think the doctor is in, it's in either that or that building. So let's just go ahead and head over and see if there's a directory. Graves pops open the hatches and, swings his way out. And he's kind of surprised with, he swings out, with a little bit of, surprising ease. He just kind of looks around and shrugs and kind of continues on the sidewalk to where they're given directions.
Kara, meanwhile, pulls some stuff out of, one of the consoles in the truck and just kind of hops out a little bit painfully and just kind of follows along behind Graves saying, "I think I found some currency in there."
Yeah, excellent. We don't have much left to barter with. So, taking inventory of that thing, I didn't realize how big it was, but taking inventory, it can lead to some more surprises, hopefully.
Well, it's mostly empty. I think they were going to pick something up.
I mean, military gear and stuff like that, maybe. A pistol here and there could still be worth some trade.
Point.
So, with Ryuji and Kara in tow, Graves looks around for some signage and says, alright, universal translators being a bit slow. There we are, okay. So, this is apparently a transit office. Shipping company. Then this is a hostel, and okay, here's the doctor. He points to a yellow sign in a flowing alien script above a small, basically stairway leading down.
Kara moves along and just kind of says nonchalantly, "Yeah, I wonder why it's having such trouble. Couldn't be like there's thousands of alien languages here it's suddenly having to deal with."
And having to work on local processing power as well. Yeah, so let's just head down. Need a hand?
Nope. Not all I can get.
Alright, okay. Ryuji, you take that arm, I'll take this arm, and I think we can squeeze down.
Alright, got it.
When she moves the right hand away from her side, it's basically covered in blood.
Oh, let's get you down. Okay, down here. Curving around, hopefully it's just... Okay, this looks like a radio room. And Graves is, like, immediately there's a green hand and a finger just, like, basically right at the tip of Graves' nose. And let me just go ahead and pull up a figure. But basically, a figure is holding Graves, like, at a moment and says, "You there? Well, 'tis good. 'Tis good that someone finally visits, but I do appreciate it when my clientele gives appointments."
Yeah, sorry. Turns out this was a bit last moment. I wasn't aware I was going to get shot.
Well, for that I recommend seeing an oracle, but as far as what we can do with mortal faculties, let me just see. And the alien turns, and they've got a very thin build. They're very tall female, and have a pair of basically small ridges above their eyes, and just jet black hair and eyes. So, I am almost there. And, yeah, the individual in question just... Yeah, it's got a bit of a tank top, but one arm is basically covered in medical technology that's sort of... It's very cybernetic in nature. There's just curling tendrils, little armatures just moving around with her hand. She just takes a look and says, "Simple matter. As far as the rest of you is concerned, this will be an interesting case study. So for that, consider your fee waived. The other two of you, if you require services, I will have to charge, but I'm very flexible with the payments I take. I am cosmopolitan in that respect, unlike some others here in Haven."
Kara looks over her shoulder, just slightly concerned, and says to Graves, "This lady is giving me some severe Hazra vibes."
I do not know who that is. Are we speaking of lawyer, bureaucrat? It matters not. Let me see. And she begins, she moves a hand over to Kara's side, and Kara, you can immediately feel a twinge, and something is working on the wound, and possibly probing inside the wound. It's hard to tell, but immediately there's a sedative applied, and effectively, it's not that it goes icy numb, it's just, you just don't feel that pain on that side.
Speaking of wishing for previous warning.
Well, it's free services you are gaining, so I will give you these free services. Well, I indulge my curiosity a bit. This, my.
Yeah, I don't like the way you're saying that.
Right. So, I've healed your wound. That is all good, so let me take a minute to process this data. The alien woman basically just points a finger over to her side console, which immediately flicks on, and just displays a volume of biometric data. She goes to sit at an accompanying... Well, it's not quite a chair, but chair is the closest way to accompany. It's very ergonomic in design and just sort of molds around her and just says, "My name is Shepe Yutagi, and I am a healer in this area. Fortunately for you, I study the biological arts. Cybernetic is something else entirely, beyond, well, tools of the trade."
Yeah, well, to be fair, I've got a lot more of that now than I did when I came to Trident.
So you say. Have you encountered any lost lately?
I have no idea what that is.
Good. So we can discount that possibility, and... as for you, she kind of gives Marcus a look up and down. It's like, you have similar issues. And you, Noble Kassoon, I don't think you have anything to worry about. My congratulations.
Kara, meanwhile, just kind of narrows her eyes at Graves and says, "I knew there was something fucking off."
Ryuji just squints at the woman when she says this.
Yutagi says, "I've traveled around and seen the sights, and posed as village healer from time to time." And, basically, she says, "It will be a moment here. I'm processing some analyses." And
so long as I'm not going to bleed out, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, you will live, for now. There are some instabilities with your augmentations. You are unfinished.
See, I was I was happy when you said I wasn't going to bleed out, and then you added all the rest of that on there, and now I'm concerned again.
Maybe there's some things we can do to stabilize, but I would say a chronic condition is what you are looking at here. What it means, it's hard for me to say. I think you will need to seek a specialist in these matters, but for now, I can do you some good. As far as not dying, you are not engineered in to be truly ageless. So I guess that is coloring my perspective a bit.
Kara just kind of looks down at her side and then back to her arms. Yeah, and I'm only partially bulletproof.
Indeed. So this other one, and she just like grabs Marcus is trying to like peek over to the cybernetic data, and she just sort of like without looking at him, just sort of grabs the sort of side of his neck and is giving him an examination as her arbiter is kind of probing into his skin a little bit, and it's like, ooh.
She keeps making these noises. I don't like these noises.
My apologies. Cybernetics, again, is not my forte. For you, I was expecting something else, but these augmentations do not bear the mark of Trident. These are not of the speakers, these are not of anyone else that I know of, beyond one group.
Wait, you recognize the augmentations that have been put on him?
Perhaps. I mean, old augmentations, just, bits of tech here and there. I've never seen them grafted into an individual before. Just kind of figured it's just part of another technology, just not what people put in them.
Okay, that's kind of terrifying. I can go ahead and tell you the name of the group that altered Graves at least slightly. They're called the Borg. They are very dangerous.
She says, Borg are not what I was considering here. See this plating? It is of a specialized military sort. No, the group I'm referring to is known as the Conclave.
Son of a bitch's ass, yes, I'm gonna fucking choke him the next time I see him.
So Graves is just blinking like, what?
Kara looks ready to murder a bitch.
And she says, well, shall we say, do you have any artifacts that were associated with this implantation procedure?
I don't know about artifacts, but we had a whole guy from the Conclave and one of his fucking robots.
You also picked up something on the way out.
Oh, yeah.
So there was that one room. Yeah. So you can hand that over to Utagi at this point.
Wait, which room?
This happened when the prison escaped. They stopped and grabbed a bit of tech on the way out. Kara thinks for a minute and just says, well, if you don't ask where we got it, there was also this. And she digs around in the salvage coat she's wearing and pulls out the computer tech and just kind of sets it on the table.
So she takes a look at it and just sort of twirls around her hand. Says, yes, this would just about do it. This appears to be an injector. You can see the ports here and here, and it is evidently empty as well. So, congratulations, you have solved a mystery that you didn't know you had. So, as far as anything else goes, there is a label here, and let me see if I can translate it. It is in the high speak.
Great. I thought we were taking with us something that could be useful. Instead, I've accidentally injected Graves with God knows what. Well, actually, I guess since he picked it up, he injected himself with it.
Graves says, we didn't use it. Maybe they did it before, we got out.
That just raises more questions.
Yeah, so what does the label say? And Utagi just kind of looks over and says, let's see, what's the best way to rephrase this? It is referred to, one way you could read it is Destroyer, or Elder Destroyer is a sub variant of that, but kind of a collapse of the universe. That's kind of the imagery, but some of these high language labels high language terms tend to be flowery like that. But it appears that whatever was contained here, they held it in either high regard or high fear.
Yay. We
Graves
really better
blinks
work
and
on getting
says-
that radio and getting a hold of everybody.
Graves blinks and says, indeed. So, when I wasn't feeling cold and feeling pretty good, yeah.
I'll keep an eye on it. It turns out we're both walking guinea pigs.
Right. So, is there anywhere we can get some tech to help out with tuning a radio, maybe increasing its range? And Yutagi nods and just, yeah, there's a nice junk store down the street. Chap there absolutely loves creative enterprises. I've employed his services here before to set up shop. So, right. And she just sort of slaps her knees and turns around and says, my sympathies for not being the doctor you need at this time, but I'm not the doctor you need at this time. I'm the doctor you have, though, and I will take that role very seriously. So, I do have some medications I can provide that will slow any onset. She looks over to Grays and then to Kara and says, and also alleviate any incompatibilities between you and your new augmentations. So these will, again, help and just make any issues minor, relatively speaking, for a practical duration.
Dr. Itagi, you have my thanks for no other reason than the fact that you got a bullet out of me. She looks down.
Right.
It is out of me, right? You didn't just...
Oh, it has been completely dissolved. I've removed it.
Okay, cool.
Right. So, yes, some medications to help you with your conditions, and any help with settling into Haven, I'm happy to provide that.
Right, well, we've got a vehicle and probably some stuff to trade in it, so we'll work on that. And we can see what Bosho says. He seems to know a lot.
Right, an excellent starter point. Is there anything you wish to have someone inquire with about the city? I'm about to make some rounds, so... if any questions can be asked to, people in various social standings, I may be able to pass those questions on and pass answers back in return.
Just if there's any newcomers around, especially any newcomers looking for some lost people, since
Right.
we're kind of misplaced.
Very much so. And your biometric data has already been logged in, I can work with that. So, yes, I will inquire.
The name of that race is Ibby, by the way. It doesn't seem familiar to the people around here.
No. And as for your other friends, and Graves just fills in, human. It's like, yes, as I thought. I've seen your people before. Interesting to get more of a certain species. There's only usually one introduction. I assume you're also a newcomer, and Graves says, yeah. And she says, all right. Interesting indeed. Right, so I'll be off, and if you need anything, I will be in touch. I can find you.
Right on. We owe you, Doc, so if you need a favor, let us know. And she stands up.
And with that, the group is able to get back to the vehicle. So, Ryuji, do you suggest anything to the two patients after their medical procedure?
If you feel you're losing yourself, I can make it real quick, if you need it. I'm hoping you don't, but if you don't, I don't get paid, but don't want to see you suffer.
Kara just holds up a hand with one finger and just says, no.
Right, the thought's appreciated, but we'll make sure you get paid beforehand. Speaking of that, there is the hostel nearby if we want to stay somewhere that isn't the back of a military vehicle.
Kara shrugs and says, we did find a bunch of currency in the truck. Pay him with that.
Yeah, some that, but, I'd like to leave a good tip, too.
I was promised goods, not...
Oh. I don't think I was there for that conversation.
Yeah, right. So, we want to, get a little something extra for him. So let's settle in, get some food, and, figure out, head down to the shop a little bit later.
God damn it, I could wish to see Eli right about now.
Indeed. So with that, we cut back over to Vorty, where the group has been given a good, basically read on where the crew might be.
So the bartender says, I don't recommend going through there, but if you're gonna, just watch out. There's no telling what the Lost have done to the area, or how they'll react to you.
Well, you shall keep that in mind. It's not like we have much other choice. Waiting isn't really a choice.
Right then. And he just puts the book away and just goes back to his duties serving the other patrons.
Yeah, we'll cross that rapid targ when we get to it.
For now, everybody rest up, drink, eat, whatever you need. Take a look around.
Yes. Rest.
Setz has a faraway expression.
You good there? He says, waving his hands in front of her eyes.
I'm really good. It might be that I just drank all of this ambrosia, but we also kind of know where Marcus and Kara are, so I'm good. And they've got a tardigrade with them. That's probably really good. Don't know anything, these little guys. Right, John?
She looks around, and John is outside, playing with, basically making a snowman, but a tardigrade. But Setsa then just looks back to the bar and looks at Eli.
Says, yeah, they're really good.
They mentioned someone else with Grays and Kara too, so I don't know, tardigrade and someone else.
At this point,
Yeah.
Burton kind of waddles over and just says, "Oh, so are we staying a little while? Because I could go
Yes.
talk to my mom."
You should go visit your mom.
Cool. Thanks.
You
He
don't
just
need to
kinda
thank me.
Waddles towards the door.
I think I'm gonna go see about one of those warm spring hot tubs and try to get my knee to stop hurting. This cold is really killing me.
Setsa says, vaguely,
Yeah, hot spring sounds good. Yeah, let's go.
You guys have fun with that. I'm gonna, I don't know, contemplate existence outside.
Pim just kind of looks over at Grawl and just says, "Are you just going to stay like that the whole time?"
Most likely. I can roll towards the hot springs.
Okay, just... So, I'm trying to figure out which end of you is the front so I can pass the food that way.
This one.
Thank you, that's very helpful.
Rick.
Setsa calls... Oh, go for it.
Actually, I'd want to do a roll first for this one.
While you're rolling, Setsa's calling over.
Rick, we got a hot spring. Hot spring.
I do wish to point out that the ambrosia is not very alcoholic.
It has a warm feeling, and Setsa's just kind of lost herself in that warm feeling, and just sort of that shock of like, hey, we've made big progress. So that's kind of she's not drunk, she's just... she may need to be turned off and on again.
She has a profound sense of relief.
So
High on life.
So as Setsa goes to look for Rick, he's sitting down, eyes are closed, just sort of like leaning back into the chair, just sort of fully relaxing. But as she speaks up, alright, yes, I was gonna try and go just try and rest here, but warm springs does sound rather nice.
And I will say that before we end for the evening, as Rick stands up, he looks over into basically what the governmental section is, and he sees a Yizzle with eyeglasses looking at something on the desk and fiddling with it. It's a Federation standard tricorder. And I think there's a good place to stop.